The return. We're back. It's time to prepare for Ole Miss here on the Sooner or Later Sports Show, a Hog Media production presented by Sleeper. That is Coop. I'm Jay. Thanks for pulling up here on the YouTube channel and listening wherever podcasts are downloaded and listened to while you're here. Please wipe your feet, like, subscribe, rate, review. Give us 5 stars. Y'all don't think we deserve it? Go ahead and give us that 5 anyway and gift it. So on today's episode, me and Coop got some fun things to talk about going into this weekend. Ole Miss coming to town, and it's supposed to be really wet, so I kind of feel bad for y'all. Lane Kiffin made some comments. We'll start there because I thought that people are overreacting. Also, I don't know if y'all knew this, but the Oklahoma City Thunder are NBA champions, and we had kickoff. They tip off on yesterday, so it's going to be a fun thing to talk about. So, Coop, happy Wednesday, my man. I'm back home. I'm exhausted, but I'm back home. You doing all right? Talk to me.
I did not do any Vegas trip like you did, so I've been sitting in my chair all damn day and got up. Wife took the daughter to the pumpkin patch, so it's that time of the year, and it reminded me of something. And I'm gonna throw us offline here. We never had our candy corn debate.
We did not
last year.
We did not have it yet. Well, technically,
next
candy
week.
corn season hits next week. Yes.
So there we go. So we're gonna next week. That's a preview. We're gonna have the battle of the Halloween candies. What is elite? What is mid? And what is cheeks?
Here you go. Disrespecting the one that I know you're gonna disrespect. So I'm just gonna not make those comments. But thank y'all for jumping here in the chat. We see all our people. Rhyme and Lemon as usual. Michael Tidwell, what it do? Mateer's Thumb had a very interesting question. We'll have to address that a little bit later. But I do want to kind of add this to it. I'm interested to know what SEC teams haven't tried a coach from the Saban tree besides Oklahoma. And I'm actually intrigued on that too. Coop is looking up some research on that to let us know. Wow, Logan, candy corn is not so nasty. Don't disrespect the GOAT. It's okay. But I still love you. Even though that your opinions are very much terribly wrong when it comes to that. But no, shout out to our partners over there at Sleeper. If you guys haven't checked them out for daily fantasy ball, they're hooking you up. Use our promo code UNFAIR. They're going to give you monies, $20 just to sign up. And then they're going to match any deposit up to $100. Use terms and conditions apply. See Sleeper's terms of use for details. Let's start with this, Coop. I thought this was very interesting that this week's presser, Lane Kiffin had some very interesting comments to say. I should have downloaded it and just played it for everybody, but we won't do that. But basically, they said, this is what Lane had to say. Film study, signals, I think they do a great job in that. They've got a really good bead on the plays that are coming when they're called. They do a really good job of going and taking those away. And he mentioned that he told, here it is. You look at the Auburn game. I told you after the game watching it, you might want, he said he had talked to, I guess, Hugh Freeze. So you might want to switch your signals. It looks like they have the plays. Now, some people have taken that, Coop, as a slight at Brent Venables, more of a saying that BV cheats. But I didn't take it that way when I heard it. Before I pass it to you, I want to pause and make this statement. It is 6:07 p.m. Central Time. The SEC will drop the first injury report at 7 o'clock, about 7:10. So we should be still live, and we will break that. I will show it on the screen, and we will talk about who ends up on that initial report for this weekend. So I want to make sure I made mention of that because I forgot to open with that because I'm terrible at it, but I digress. Lane made those statements, and to me, Coop, seriously, I don't think Lane was throwing shade. I actually think Lane was kind of pointing out that, no, BV's one of the best play callers in the country, and his team is always prepared. And I say that because of one thing. They got helmets. They've got, communication in the helmet. If you're still using hand signals on the sideline, what are we doing here? It's communicated in the helmet. You have to worry about nobody stealing your signals. And I don't think we steal the signs. Well, I mean, everybody's accused BV of it. I think it's more so BV understands that typically in certain scenarios, this is what the coach does. And I think that that's what Lane was trying to say while also being very cheeky, because that's what Lane Kiffin is. So when you saw the comments on Tuesday, Coop, what you think about it?
It's sleight of hand. I mean, that's what Lane Kiffin does. Is he wants to draw some attention to random stuff. And James Thrice, I see your comment. That's part of it. He wants other storylines out there. Just wants other storylines. I think Lane probably did have something. There was something. They were loaded words. So I'll just keep it right there. Yeah, you got the helmet mics until it hits 15 on the play clock.
Correct.
And so Lane has. Who cares? I mean, you're going up against the defense that is really. It's elite, and we'll go over some of the stats here in a little bit. This is the best defense that he's ever gone after this year.
Yeah, easily.
I think that one of the big things is he thinks he's trying to get in your head. He tried it last week with Kirby Smart, with the clapping and everything like that, and timeout. No, it's not a timeout. I'm just clapping. I'm just playing paper, rock, scissors with myself, whatever. So he's always going to come up with that mess. He is okay. He is like a more reserved version of Mike Gundy. He just throws out some stuff out there, and I don't think it's intelligent, because I think that this defense is really good anyway. And if you give them anything to go off of, it's like Baker Mayfield. If you just give him something, he'll search it. He'd be like, you were next door neighbors with a guy who slighted me on Twitter back in 2009, and so I'm playing tougher this year. So I think that's. I mean, who cares? I'm kind of it doesn't bother me that much.
And that's where I'm at, and that's kind of why I wanted to point it out, because in my mind, it's Lane was giving BV some credit, but he also is just Lane Kiffin. He's going to do it in the Lane Kiffin way, and so there's no reason for us to take it as, oh, he's being disrespectful. He's being Lane Kiffin. And I didn't think, like I said, I didn't feel like the comments were really that bad, because I think he's right. That is probably BV's biggest strength when you watch this defense fly around like it does, is that they do a really good job of understanding what the competition's about to do. And so because they know what the competition's about to prepare for, they go out there and, they punch them in their face, and they know, they have an idea what plays are going. And the good thing, too, to add to that is, you notice this with the players, you can tell that they actually do a really good job at film study, Coop. Yeah. They're prepared. I mean, I think my favorite one is still, of course, the Reggie Powers hit, where you watch him go out there and, Lenore Sellers sets up his little brother, and we just basically hit him in his chest.
remember that toy you stole back in 2001? Here, take this. Yeah. It's also tendencies. You're going to have tendencies as a coach. You have tendencies as a player.
As a human, you've got tendencies.
Yeah, and so, I mean, you don't think that any big hit comes from just pure luck, right? Sometimes, every once in a while, you're going to get, a free release, and you're going to be able to go after somebody. But if you look at the Kendall Daniels one against Michigan and Justice Haynes, he was on that before Justice Haynes could make an adjustment. Reggie Powers, same situation. You don't think that, like, when David Stone crushed homeboy over the middle while he was in the air, he didn't see in film study the dude will jump over some folks in the hole. Like, those things, those things happen. And let's rewind back to our good buddy Danny Stutzman. Preparation with Brent Venables it is absolutely everything. There is a difference in being 6 inches too far to the left, misalignment. You're going to do the film study. You're going to practice. It's in the details, right?
Yep.
You get those details right, you get the preparation right, and it becomes muscle memory. Anything in athletics, whether it's shooting a basketball, whether it's throwing a baseball, whether it's a jump shot, or whether it's alignment on tackling. Every single thing is about the details, and that's why they go through reps all spring, all summer, all fall, and then go through the practice week. It's about repetition, and if there's a tendency and you recognize it, that makes, there's how many football players have we seen, defensive and offensively, who were just good athletes, Jerry Rice.
Right.
But they were amazing at the details.
Right. You're supposed to exploit that. That to me is what is the definition of a good defensive tactician. And that's also a good offensive tactician, in which when we preview this game more, that's the one thing I'm going to be pointing out to everybody is Lane Kiffin's a really good tactician on the offensive side. Dude knows his stuff. He's a very good play caller. He is a thorn. He's going to be a thorn in our side, period. Like we can't act like this dude's not, because that's his strength. That's always been his strength, is play calling, drawing up, like getting guys open, leveraging the tight ends, misdirection, you name it. He finds a way to get guys open. And so we're going to have to work for it and work for this game. So there's a lot of stats, of course, we can look at and get an understanding of. I think there was one graph that I saw that really jumped out to me, and I want to continue to praise our defense on how we've played. It's not only was it like the efficiency, there was one that I saw that showed, not as a complete game, but it showed, what is it called? Sorry, I'm having a brain moment. Oh, it showed on this graph of how good the team is throughout a game. Like, does the team give you a complete game? And it showed for us that as we get into the second half, this defense plays better, which is why in the beginning of the game, just like you mentioned, Coop, which is actually a great example now that I think about it, we catch those tendencies early. We'll miss out on a big play, big pass, big run, but then we see when they're going to try to bring something like that back again, and then we catch it, and then we get them. Coaching, especially in the SEC, you're dealing with professional NFL caliber coordinators, NFL caliber on both sides, and they're going to make you work for it. But if you can find the habits that they've shown in multiple games over years and you catch it, you have a good chance of basically having a step ahead. Now, this is something that Ben Arbuckle is going to learn over time, because it's going to take time for a young OC to figure that out. But a veteran DC like BV, he knows how to adjust. Now, he may not get you all the plays out there as early as you would like, but he does a good job of making sure that people are in the right spots. So, got to give him props for that.
Yeah, it does. And, Lane is also, maybe there's a chance in his communications with the sign stealing stuff. Like, he was just here a few years ago as the coach of Florida Atlantic. And that, I believe, was the Kyler year, right?
Yes.
But he was just here, so he knows that stadium is going to be crazy. It's going to be ruckus. And if there is anything that is out there of people looking over at the sideline, like checking that out, he's going to draw that to the officials' attention. He's going to try to make a deal of it. And so you start that, and the comments are big. They're out there. So if he can gain any advantage, he's going to take that opportunity. And so
that's the goal, is to get an advantage, right?
Yeah,
that is the goal. And Lane, but again, I don't think that Lane was accusing us of cheating. I think Lane was just pointing out just how good BV is at his job. The other thing to keep in consideration too, and it was mentioned in the comment section, that Lane's name is literally in every single conversation for the job at Florida, which is my favorite.
Yeah.
Here it is. I think I actually found the graph I was looking for. Yay, I did find it. This is the one I was wanting to talk about. Hold a second. Let me get it to show. Yeah, this is the one. So net success rates by half. As you can see, Oklahoma is all the way in the top right, which means we have success throughout the first and the second half. We literally have been wire to wire. I know a lot of you all, and I've seen some of y'all in the comments. Most of the people in the comments don't ever show up in the live, so I don't think it's any of our people here today. But I know those that have populated in the just in the comments of the videos or whatnot. When we talk about how we dominated in that South Carolina game, they're just like, well, I mean, look at the score. The score wasn't that big of a score. It's like, no, but domination is different. I mean, we only gave up 65. We gave up 165 yards of total offense up into that final drive of the game.
Yeah,
I think that's domination for a full game, especially in the SEC. Now, granted, this also goes back to what I was saying before, Coop. The teams on our schedule ain't gonna be as tough as everybody think they are.
No, and
we're about to find out going forward.
We're gonna look at stats. Everybody looks good. I mean, look, Florida's offense looked phenomenal against Long Island State or whoever they played week 1. They scored 70. Lagaway looked like a Heisman. And it doesn't look like that since, so the who you are, and I think I made that comment at the very, very beginning of the season. I think this was going to be a season that I can't remember who said it, but it backs up what I'm trying to say, is nobody is excited to play OU's defense. There's not a team left on our schedule who is like, well, I can't wait till we play OU's defense. But I said at the beginning of the year, like, everybody looks at the schedule of what we have in front of you, and by name, yeah, it looked great. I mean, it looked daunting. But I think that this team now is putting themselves in a position that they have to play us.
Yep.
So you don't think that LSU is looking at that, last game of the season going, we're really excited about that one. Our offense that's struggling, their house at night. That the people are going to continue to get. I mean, the competition's better. It really, really is going forward. Like all these ranked teams, there's a lot that looks good about them. But I can tell you one thing: Alabama's, when we go into their house, they're not bringing in like a top 15, top 20 defense. I mean, in some key categories, I mean, they're in the 80s and 90s. And so this team's, I mean, you're 7 games in, and the defense statistics at OU they're not going down. There's no drop off.
There's not. And that's something we're going to jump into. Start looking at some numbers. Let's look at the comparisons of us as well. And BV responded, of course, when he made that comment. So let's look at that. First, shout out to our partners over there at Sleeper. I want to make a couple picks. Like I said, they're going to hook y'all up. 100% match on your first deposit up to $100. Use our code UNFAIR. Plus, they're going to give you $20 just for checking them out. And so, like I said, I'm going to make a couple picks. NBA's here. So, of course, you can do like NBA duos, which is actually kind of cool. Let me do that with Giannis and Cade Cunningham. We can actually pick them on that entry. That's a interesting one that you can do. NFL games, let's look at something for Thursday night, which is what? Minnesota and the Chargers. So, of course, I'm going to take – I don't think I want to take Addison. I'm not going to touch him. But I will take Justin Jefferson on the more because it feels like they throw enough. Justin Herbert on we'll go less. But you can also click on them. You can see the stats and everything. And that's the cool part about it. They give you everything you need to get into the action. Use our promo code UNFAIR. They're going to hook you up. 100% match on your first deposit up to $100. Plus, they're going to give you $20 just for signing up. Terms and conditions apply. See Sleeper's terms of use for details. Coop, thank you all for pulling up. Hit the like button. If you are new to the channel, subscribe, rate, review, give us 5 stars. Those that are watching and you're not subbed, go ahead and hit the sub button, man. Help us out. Get us to 20,000 before the season ends. Then we can do a lot more cool stuff down the line. It just helps us to be able to make more magic happen in the background. We got to look at some stats, though, Coop. Y'all know I'm a numbers person. Coop is as well. I think that's the thing that makes us like get along so well. We like to look at the full analytics of what's going on and be able to point out, yeah, this is this is dumb or this is not dumb. And we get to look at some of these. Let me pull up the stat number. Let's see. Where are these? Is this it? I think that is.
Got to think that my fascination with the numbers comes from the accounting degree that I don't use. So
exactly. He has an accounting degree and he doesn't
stuff.
use it. He's talking to you about basketball and he's selling stuff. Like me, I got a degree in kinesiology health studies and I don't do, well, I work out. I just don't train people.
I work out.
All right, let's look at Ole Miss's offense versus our defense. I want to start there first, mainly because this will be the best offense we would have seen this entire season. Only one team's gotten 300 on us. That's been Texas. Like I said, South Carolina only got, if you take out that final drive of the game where everybody was basically coasting, and then we got an interception to close it out, they had 165 yards before that 59-yard drive on the final drive. We literally dominated that game. But again, we're going up against the best offense we've seen so far. I mean, look at them. They on all the advanced numbers, they're pretty solid, 37 points per game. We're only giving up 8. This is the game where this defense can shut a lot of naysayers up. Like, this is the one, Coop. We go out there and we hold them to maybe 300 yards in this game, especially because it's supposed to rain and be like gross. We hold them under 300 from their typical 491. Bro, you can't even question this defense at that point. And then we'll be able to roll up into Knoxville and really be a thorn in somebody's side. But this is where the rubber is going to meet the road for us. This is the money game, the next money game for the squad. You show out in this one like you did in Michigan, like you did at South Carolina, right? Big stuff can happen. Because if you look at the comparisons, man, we're number 1 in defensive success rate. They're 14th in offensive success rate. So that offense hums. It moves. They move the ball on the ground. They move the ball in the air. Lane know what the heck he's doing. We just got to go out there and be successful. What you thinking?
Yeah, so their offensive line, I think, has given up 7 sacks all season long. Yep. So not a lot of sacks, but I looked at that, Jay, and that's when I kind of went nerd out on the stats for myself, and I went and looked at who they had faced and where those teams ranked in the sacks on the season. If you haven't caught the stat yet, tackles for loss, sacks, we are number 1 in both. And not only number 1 in both, I think that we have like 20 more tackles for loss than the second place SEC team. So yeah. This is defense, and we saw it in the Riley years where we had this dominating offense, and you go up against the defense, and it's just got shut down. So
a real one.
People say, "Oh, but Coop, last week they played Georgia." Jay, Georgia ranks 130th in the nation in tackles for loss.
Yeah, Georgia's only got 27 tackles for loss this season. Georgia, the team that we've known that's been infamous for having like these elite defenses. They're not that elite this year.
They also played Georgia State, who's ranked 72nd in the country in tackles for loss. So LSU, 80th in the country tackles for loss. Kentucky, 109th. Arkansas, 80th. The best defenses that they've played as far as like tackles behind line of scrimmage were Washington State and Tulane. Now, sacks. I said the sacks number, 7 sacks given up. I was listening to Gabe's breakdown, and they're just a solid offensive line. But again, you got Georgia State, 126th in the nation. Kentucky, 96th in the nation. Arkansas, 98th in the nation. Tulane, 59th. LSU, 33rd. Washington State, 68th. And Georgia, 120th in the nation in sacks.
Yeah, this is who they, and Coop put this together. This is who Ole Miss has played. This isn't like world beaters in comparison to what we are. Now, I don't get in the definitives and say, oh, we're going to just dominate the heck out of them. No.
Yeah.
But if trends continue, we have a very good chance of dominating them. But look at who they played. Like I said, Tulane, LSU, the way these teams rank, they don't rank very high in any of these numbers. Like we're hands down the best defense they've seen this season. Heck, we're the best defense Michigan's seen so far. We weren't the best defense that Texas saw, which is kind of fascinating. Actually, I think that may be Ohio State. I think we're actually the third best defense they saw this season. If you really think about the way we played, it sucks.
But I say so when it starts with the getting after the quarterback, like they're going to have a solid offensive line. This isn't going to be South Carolina's offensive line. This isn't going to be even Texas's offensive line. And Texas found some success against us by switching out, kind of how they play. So I think Lane's going to have a decision on his hand. Stay true to character and do what you've been doing, or did he go look at the Texas film and find some of the stuff that they were doing in order to really string things out and get away from what they're doing, what we want to do well. Running game right. Too, Jay, is, I mean, they've got a good back, and he's averaging like 3-something a carry in SEC play. So he hasn't been breaking through stuff, and he's not a guy who is a speed back, and he's not a guy who's just a massive bruiser. He's a 5'11", 205-pound dude. So I think that when the game plan comes out, and again, weather pending, I mean, let's be honest, like I think it's going to be raining. How much, still yet to be seen. It's Oklahoma. It could be 95 on Saturday, just with how Oklahoma rolls. But I think that just when you look at the stats, their weakness is obviously their defense. Their defense is also not terrific.
Yeah, we'll talk about
our
that.
Offense. Yeah, so our offense going towards it, is going to have its deal. But with this defense, like this is the headline. It is, like you said, you've got their offense. It's been great. This is the best offense that we've played. And now you got Lane Kiffin versus Brent Venables calling plays.
That is the thing I wanted to also emphasize and point out. That's the thing that intrigues me the most. That Lane Kiffin going up against BV. So SEC-wise, let me look at the SEC numbers on the offensive side. Where do they rank? Total offense, they're third, 491. Passing offense, they're sitting at 304, so they're second in the conference. Them and Tennessee are the highest. So when we go to Knoxville next week, that's going to also be the next challenge. You're going up against a Tennessee offense that's very explosive in the pass. And Bama's right there third. So we'll see. We got Tennessee, Ole Miss, Bama, and LSU in the top 6 of the SEC, and we still got them left on our schedule. Mm-hmm. And it's funny because Missouri's like underneath us at 9. They don't really pass a lot. They're a big running team in which Ole Miss is not. They're 7th. I mean, of course, they're higher than us. But Bama, LSU, and South Carolina all struggle in the run. Ole Miss is 7th, 187. Lacey is a very good back. So he is going to be a problem. So, yeah, this defense is going to be solid. But the Green Arrow, that's a great question. What's the chance that Oklahoma goes after Jim Knowles? We already tried that. We won't do that again. I'm just going to tell you that now. I think we're good. The defense got better. I don't think we're going to go after Jim Knowles after last year's fiasco. He used us as leverage to get him a bigger deal at Penn State, and then his head coach got fired. Because rumor has it, he was concerned about Oklahoma because he was concerned that the coach was going to be fired.
Brent Venables might get fired.
That always
but no, Jay, this Ole Miss team, you go into last year, and it's just so funny how this team has kind of flip-flopped around because last year their defense was one of the best ones in the country.
It was.
Their offense was a lot of Jackson Dart hero ball, and we're seeing what Jackson Dart can do in the NFL already. Shout out to my Broncos, 33 in the fourth quarter to lock that win down. I
appreciate 100% them doing that for me.
100% gave up on that game and quit watching. But I will say this is looking at Ole Miss, what they're going to want to do is they want to stay on schedule. And so with a team that specializes in tackles for loss, That's the number I'm more concerned about. If we end up with 1 sack or 12 sacks, it's just that's bragging rights. I think I'm interested in the tackles for loss, because once you get them back behind the chains, you put them into a more a more conflicted schedule on offense, and now we get to see what the quarterback can do, because that's the only thing is he's not been in a spot yet where he's been able to have the full, to be limited or be one-dimensional. Right. It has been pretty on schedule. You can do some running, you can do some throwing. You're also going to be at the crib. You're also going to be into some potential rain. And so he doesn't throw the ball deep well. And I think that's one thing that I do want to watch on our defense is we saw it against Auburn. We saw it last week in South Carolina. How are defensive backs going to hold up against some of those plays downfield? We've been susceptible for some pass interference calls, and I promise you, Lane's going to throw it. Going to ask for a couple of those opportunities and make our guys prove that they can run with them, keep their hands to themselves, and turn back and look for the ball, because this whole bear hug dragging dudes down while the ball's in the air, that's not going to play. Luckily in college football, it's 15 yards and not spot foul.
Exactly. And to that point, the thing I give to Lane Kiffin, I even talked to our guy over there at Locked On Ole Miss, because I thought this was so fascinating just seeing this, is that Lane has yet to find a quarterback that's afraid to throw the ball. Every quarterback he has will just launch that thing. They will throw up 50-50 balls and not care. That to me is impressive, because it's you see guys that are afraid to just let it loose. They don't care if it's going to be picked or not. They know they're going to put it in the spot where it belongs. And Lane gives them the confidence to be able to do it. You don't get that very often, Coop. And so when I see him doing that, I'm like, man, that's pretty darn impressive that your guy is not afraid in any way, shape, or form to do that throw. So defense, their defense versus our offense. We need to figure out, can Oklahoma beat them? First, pay a bill. We do that. Shout out to our partners at Sleeper. If you're not using them for daily fantasy football or daily fantasy sports in general, you are missing out. They are hooking everybody up. They're going to give you $20 just for signing up. No deposit required. Use our promo code UNFAIR. But if you decide to deposit, they're going to give you $100 if you deposit $100. And I jump in there and I play quite often. You just pick 2 or more players, pick more or less, and you can win up to 1,000 times your money, which turns your game days into paydays. So download the app. It's one of the top apps out there. Use our promo code UNFAIR. You're going to get $100 if you deposit $100. But if you decide not to deposit, they're going to give you $20 for signing up. New users only. Terms and conditions apply. See Sleeper's terms of use for details. Once again, we appreciate y'all. Thanks for pulling up. Hit the like button if you're new to the channel. Subscribe. Hey, Hank. He is in the chat. Hank and his hot food takes. We appreciate y'all pulling up. As usual, if you're not subscribed, just go ahead and hit that little subscribe button real quick. Join the family. We talk a lot of ball here. Plus, you can join the Discord. Link is in the description below. We always talk about stuff. Let's jump into this, though, Coop. We got to talk about Ole Miss, their defense versus our offense. Now, this may be... Now, should I lie? I don't think I should lie. I shouldn't lie about this, should I? I don't think this is one of the better defenses that we've seen this year. They're actually not bad defensively, truth be told. They're actually pretty solid. Middle of the road, above average. Actually, the best way to say it is, the kids say it nowadays, but I think kids need to understand the meaning of this. Mid. Mid's not bad. Mid's not great. Mid is serviceable, which is the reason why their record reflects that they are mid. They're 6-1. They have 1 loss. Their 1 loss is last week against Georgia. So on the road. So they get back-to-back road games. And when I was talking to my guy that covers Ole Miss, he was like, yeah, I kind of figured we'll probably end up losing back-to-backs on both these road games and then ramp things up and finish the year 10-2. When I looked at their schedule, I'm like, he actually has kind of a point. He actually may be right. They may finish this season. They have a good chance 10-2. South Carolina's not very good, as we've seen. They got the Citadel. Florida fired their coach. by the time they get to that Florida game, I don't know what they're going to look like. The high of firing your coach is down at that point. And then they play in the Egg Bowl, which that's going to be a lot more interesting than we thought before. But overall, though, yeah. And with that being said, because their defense is mid, I went back and looked at that Washington State game. Washington State was wearing them out.
Yes.
And that is honestly what we probably could do. And remember, Washington State had a massive influx of new players, mainly because, John Mateer came here with Ben Arbuckle and all their other players left and went to Wake Forest. They're still 3-3. They're not terrible, but they was wearing them out. We should be able to do it too.
I say this, their defense has given up 23 to Kentucky, 35 to Arky, 24 to LSU, 21 to Washington State, and then 43 last week. Looking at kind of where they rank, strengths wise, like it's all going to be on our offensive line. I think that the offensive line, the Sooner offensive line, Jay, redundancy alert. It's going to be, how do our lines play on both sides of the ball?
Checks out.
We know what our defense is. So our offense, Ole Miss doesn't stress the quarterback very well. They also don't make plays behind the line of scrimmage. Ole Miss is 121st tackles for loss, 106th in sacks, 38th pass defense, 99th in rush defense. So they have a worse rush defense than what we faced last week against South Carolina. Now, this is a game-to-game, week-to-week type of a league, right? And so it's going to start there. Is we saw a lot of the outside zone and a lot of the duo matchups that we ran. And Blaylock got himself some good movement. X-Rob came in, got his first extended time. And so I'm going to say this is if we can continue that, and you start out with establishing the fact that we can run the ball, I got to think that obviously this is one more week. John Mateer has had the capability to do some healing. Hopefully Miyagi gave him some of this action, and I will say that I think that our offensive line is going to get a chance to continue to improve. Obviously the big fun thing about Bill Beambo is like 6 weeks in, you finally start to feel what your running game looks like. We're going to see on the injury report tonight how is Simmons looking. There's kind of conflictings out there about what Simmons' availability will be.
Yeah, there's a lot of rumors flying. There's rumors around Sexton, too. I heard that this was the game that Sexton could potentially show up.
Yeah. Now, he's been out, right, and doubtful on the first couple of injury reports. So, but I expect this. I expect Torrey Blaylock and X-Rob to have themselves a good day. This offensive line, when it comes time to pass blocking, it's never been truly about the offensive line being terrible altogether at the same time. It's usually been 4 guys doing what they're supposed to and then 1 guy not. And so how do you develop continue to develop the chemistry out there? How do you continue to work together? I'm not, last week I said if we can average 3.75, 4 yards a carry, we win. We averaged over 5. I think that that's on the table again this week. Hopefully the running backs really look at this as an opportunity to pad some stats. Get out there and put yourself up higher on the conference rankings, because I think Blaylock is at a spot now to where he's obviously RB1, and X-Rob is an amazing change of pace back, because he's a thicker, bigger dude, and once it gets wet, if you're reaching out and trying to arm tackle some of these guys, like that's a little bit more of a tougher task. And I know that our guys have been taken down with arm tackles a few times, so hopefully we can see some more run-throughs this week.
Yeah, especially playing on grass and wet grass. Like you mentioned, X-Rob's probably going to be the biggest quote-unquote X factor, no pun intended, specifically because looking at the numbers here, the way that Ole Miss's defense is, they give up a lot of – they've given up 1,100 yards this season on the ground in their 7 games. So that's, of course, at 166 yards a game. Their run play success rate is at 117th in the country. So, and Gabe and Teddy talked about it on their show today. Go listen to that. They really break it down. And they talk about how big their defensive line is, especially like the edge is like 290 or something. Like they've got a big line. And then Perkins, their other edge, he's solid. He's probably one of the more underrated guys. Was considered start of the year, but they're terrible at run defense. Like,
which is crazy.
Which is wild for them to have such big dudes. You would think they would be quote unquote unmovable. It appears that everybody's just moving them around.
Last year,
we should be able to as well. I think that's going to be, like you said, the critical part is our line opening up enough of a hole for Torrey Blaylock, X-Rob. I think Taylor Tatum's probably going to see some more run. He's starting to see a couple more snaps. He's looking like he's getting healthier. You're going to be handing the ball off and say, hey, go. Get us some yards. This is the perfect opportunity to really keep the momentum going downhill. Because you're right. As the season progresses, it does feel like we'll be beaten Bo. The line has shown it's gotten better week over week. It's gotten better week over week. You're seeing improvements. And we haven't hit our peak yet, it doesn't feel, especially on the run. Felt like we had even more meat on the bone against South Carolina, looking at the numbers. I think we could have probably done more, but we didn't have to. And it was we're on the road. Don't put too much information out there. Just go win, get the heck up out. And so looking at the success, looking at the efficiency and everything, we should be able to just run down their throat, and Mateer should be able to get back to his old running ways too. I think that's the one thing I'm curious about, Coop.
Yeah,
that's been kind of pointed out by a few folks. I think I even heard Pate say it on his prediction show because he picked Oklahoma. He put us to win and cover the spread, which is now ballooned to 5.5. Goodness gracious. I'm looking at Vegas. I'm like, dang, why is this so high? Because it was 3 when it opened, or 2.5 from 3. It's at 5.5, and all the bet is on Ole Miss. So I'm sensing that Vegas is trying to tell us they think that we're going to cover the spread, but I digress. Mateer, you think Mateer is going to get back to who he was?
Here's the thing is, like last week, they made a commentary on the broadcast, I think on his second rush. It was like, that's his second rush of the day. And I mean, he was averaging, close to 10, per game. But when your running game is able to actually contribute, from the running backs, you don't have to have Mateer do that. Well, now I think that in this game, you're going to probably see early how successful can we be. And we're going to see what they do from the aspect of, do they throw a lot more at the run to shut that down? Because, again, this passing game has not shown that we're going to toss the ball downfield too often. And if you can have Blaylock and X-Rob really get out there and run the ball, you're going to see John Mateer boot out and pull the ball, and he's going to have some opportunities. And I think that last week was a little bit more on that. I don't think we'll need it. I think this week you mix it in. Another thing, those guys are big on their defensive line. They don't have a significant amount of depth, again, like South Carolina. And I think that it was, on the breakdown, they were talking about, I think tempo could really be a big deal this week, because if you get some of those guys, they don't rotate guys in and out. Those guys play a ton of snaps. And so if you can, and I saw nickel and dime all day long, I think that Ben Arbuckle is okay, and I think John Mateer is okay with taking 8 here, 9 here, 4 here. Like, if you do that and you wear those defensive tackles out, then I think that later in the game, you're going to have some more capability for big explosive runs. I think that the Prince, I am not even going to try to say his name, Prince Monamillion, like, that's a guy also where you get him running side to side, chasing guys down, running some of that outside zone. I think that we're going to see some good options. We haven't even got to the passing game yet, but I think that that's going to be a thing with John Mateer, is expect him to have 8 to 10 carries this week. I really do think that we'll see that again, because if they start committing or over-committing to what we're doing in the running back run game, John Mateer's going to be able to pull it, and he's going to have some open options.
No, I agree with you there, and that's going to be the important thing. That's the thing you kind of want, is taking advantage of the size that they have and forcing them to run east and west more, making them chase. Like I think they got one D tackle that Gabe talked about. It's like 6'8" or something like that. Something absurd, some stupid number. It's like what? But he's a big dude, and I don't think that he's very fast. So you're gonna have to make him run. Just make him move. Xavier Harris. Yeah, 6'7", 320. Nice. That I mean, 320 sounds great, but when you realize 6'7", 6'8", that's not a lot of weight. It's a lot thinner than you think. So for us, we're gonna make that dude run the entire game. We're gonna make him move the entire game. You're gonna make him work the entire game, and I think that this squad can do that, especially as they've gotten better in their protection. They've gotten better in the run schemes that we're putting out there. I think we're doing enough to make it. It's going to make it hell for those guys. Now, the pass game, as you made mention of, that's the thing that's really going to intrigue me. I don't know how good their secondary actually is, if I'm being honest.
They don't want to give up a big play. And so they will bail out down the field all day long to keep the ball from going up and over their head.
Okay, so they keep everything underneath. And that's how you can chip away on yards with them nonstop. So basically just about how we play against everybody else. But Georgia, didn't they have some big plays on them in their game? I could have sworn Georgia got a few big plays. Let me look. Well, I mean, they scored 42 points. So they put up a lot.
They've got, their longest pass play was 36 yards.
Okay. A couple of 36ers. So, yeah.
A couple of 36ers, 26 from Zachariah Branch. His ball. He's fast. His ball was a little bit of a 50-50, and he just made an excellent play.
That is true. And they ran for dang near 300 yards in that game. So, I guess that's one we can lean on. But at the same time, and I saw that Pete Nakos decide to say that and confirm to all of us that Trinidad Chambliss is going to be the starting quarterback because Austin Simmons is back healthy. Now, I know that that's a quote-unquote non-story to most, but you got to keep in mind Austin Simmons was the starting quarterback to start the season. They expected him to be the dude, and Trinidad got it because of injury, and he's been playing well, so they're going to leave it that way, which is smart because it would make zero sense to go to another quarterback in this stadium, but at the same time, I can see them actually having to play him at some point in this game.
He's 6'1". Chambliss is 6'1", 200 pounds. He's not a humongous dude. He is going to get hit. Yeah, this team pressures the quarterback, close to 60% of the time. Like, Jay, 60% of the time. And I think that we're also lead the country in pressuring the quarterback without a blitz.
Yes, so, we're at the top of the percent. I think we're in the top 3 at minimum.
Yeah, so
let me find that real quick because I thought that was a very.
We are way up there. So Simmons has been out since I think it's either week 2 or week 3. So he has been out for quite a long time.
Yeah, it was week 2. I think it's actually the first. Wasn't it the first game of the season that dude had to come out? So
wanted to say it might have been.
Let me look real quick. Was it Kentucky?
Was it Kentucky? Kentucky was before. Yeah, it was Kentucky.
He played Kentucky, and so he's been out since the Kentucky game. Arkansas was Trinidad.
So you've got so it was. I don't know if you really bring dude back in that environment, but obviously if Chambliss gets dinged up, like you're going to have to. Jay, that concerns me a tiny bit. It's been a long time since dude's played, so maybe it shouldn't. But Oklahoma in the past, now that's not Brent Venables' defense, and that's not this regime. But in the past, like backup quarterbacks would come in and just ball out against us, and so I'm really hoping that that doesn't come into play. But I don't know if Simmons gives Ole Miss the dual threat that Chambliss gives him, because Simmons not going to get all over the place and run all over the place. Like, he is more of a pure passing guy. And so, unless he gets hurt, I don't expect we see Simmons. And but it's the rain. You hope that
it's going to be the rain. Do you think that if he's having a bad game that they go ahead and yank him?
Yeah.
That's kind of what I was thinking about with it, is that if we do enough pressure-wise, they could pull them. So that's kind of where my consideration comes
Turnovers.
in. But outside of that, I don't expect to see Austin Simmons. So, yeah, it's confirmed Trinidad's going to be the starting quarterback. Like I said, I didn't think that it's a nothing burger, while at the same time I understand why that's been put out there because of Chambliss's quote-unquote struggles in that game against Georgia. I mean, he was 19 for 36, so he was just under, what's that, 50%? Just about 50%.
Well,
he wasn't. He
just like
he
50,
wasn't.
yeah.
He's about what, 52%? Yeah, is the number 52.8 to be exact?
Not a lot. Not a lot.
Not a lot. Not like he was all season. Let's put it that way. When I looked at his game log, because he played a little bit of Georgia State, the Arkansas game, he was 72%. 63% against Tulane, 59% against LSU, one of his struggle games, but that was a good dogfight. 69% against Washington State, which accuracy is critical in Lane Kiffin's system. 52% against Georgia. So the struggle bus was a little there. We could probably make him go less than that. We're built for it. So
it's here's the thing is I don't know if OU will put Chambliss in a spot based. Now let me pause. Based on the game plans that people have thrown against us.
Right.
If Lane Kiffin says, I'm going to do what I'm going to do, and I'm either going to live by it and die by it, or, if he does that, then I think maybe. But typically teams have gotten the ball out extremely fast. It's been quick throws. It's been slants. So he would have to have multiple turnovers. And then at that point, I don't think it matters if you pull him and Simmons comes in because, at that point, the rest of the team ain't getting pulled too. New quarterback's not going to fix all the reps that you're getting beat up on, all the receivers getting drilled, stuff like that. Because typically if you have bad and errant throws, a receiver usually gets hit pretty hard. So I would say that it would be hard for me to see a bad game. Is a bad game for Trinidad Chambliss like a 18 for 42 type of an outing for 200 yards passing, a pick and a touchdown and maybe a fumble or something like that, negative yards on the ground. Like, is that a bad game for him? Is that enough to pull him?
Yeah, that's the question. Would that be considered a reason to yank him if he hasn't turned the ball over? If he starts turning the ball over, I do believe that they'll pull him. I think that's the only reason why you pull him. And OU Mike, you're 100% correct. I think when you talk about our defensive side is our focus is going to be we're going to have to wrap up on all tackles. That's going to be the most important thing. As long as you're wrapping up, we should be good. We're going to have to we can't allow anybody to break free. Sound tackling, sound, just everything is going to be the most important thing you're going to be doing when it comes to dealing with stopping Ole Miss, especially in the weather. Now, let me ask this though: with the weather, I kind of have a feeling that we're not going to really let it fly. You don't expect Mateer to really be slinging in this game, do you?
I expect it to be what it's been. He feels very, very comfortable. I think that the middle of the field and the intermediate passing game is very, very, very big weakness for them, and that's where he likes to throw the ball. I think that you got to at least take a shot per half. Doesn't matter what the weather looks like. I think that's you get a Burks option because deep balls have been there. It's not like we've not had dudes running downfield
wide open, right,
and clean. But I do think that, in this type of game, unless the defense for Ole Miss decides that they're going to play out of character what they've done the entire season, and I really find that hard to believe 7 games in that would change. But I really believe that that's going to be on the table. Is you're going to have some options. Javonte Gibson now, this is week 3 of him playing. So is it good enough for him to take a couple shots downfield? I said Keontez Lewis is the best downfield threat that we have. So 7 o'clock here in just a few minutes.
We got 10 minutes.
We'll get a chance to see what does his availability look like. We're pretty healthy right now. Do you have an opportunity to?
Not gonna work.
I think that with keeping and I really do think that playing with tempo you don't have to play with like Sam Bradford's days tempo type of a situation, but I think that playing with tempo is going to be a big game plan for the offense this week. And so I think that that's going to be that kind of takes away when you toss it downfield. If you don't complete it, you give them a chance to sub in and sub out and do those things. So, sure. I mean, the wide receivers know where they're going. The defensive backs don't know where they're going. And so if you can break a tendency once or twice and chuck it deep, I want to see put it in play because Mateer's deep balls, for the most part, have been like severely overthrown. And so I don't think that, or, the Texas one where he, whatever happened there between him and Burks, that one was thrown, just to the middle of the end zone. So maybe once a half.
Okay. I can accept that.
Put Elijah Thomas out there on the outside and just say, go ball time. Let's go.
Just lob it. See what happens. That's fair. I can see that. We need to. Are we trying to preserve his red shirt or something? Because I feel like his red shirt's gone.
No, he's played he's a special teams, ninja. So he's been tearing it up. I just think that the offense, it's not 20.
Full.
Yeah, it's not last year's offense. But I still feel like they're trying to click. And I feel like as they're starting to click, he hurts his thumb. I feel like, there's mistakes have, untimely turnovers, some of these mistakes. These things have kind of prevented the offense from really evolving. And so would it be great to see this? Because this, again, I think that there is a lot of opportunity running the football. And when you run the football very well, they're going to have to commit some people. And then instead of him throwing bombs downfield to a Gibson or to a Burks into double coverage and a safety coming over, now you get some one-on-one opportunities. And so I'd like to see maybe some stutter goes from Keontez, from Giovanni, potentially, Satania over the middle. I think that those are going to be opportunities if you see a running game start clicking.
Yeah, I'm hoping that we go ahead and start. We'd make some attempts, but I don't expect it this game. I actually expect this game, as you kind of mentioned, to be done similar to the South Carolina game, specifically because of the weather. The weather's bad. You really don't want to be. You don't want to be out there doing that, right? You don't want to be launching the ball but at the same time, you may want to if the guys can catch it. Just don't tip the ball and lead to interceptions. Now, on our defense, please tip the ball and lead to interceptions. Because I really do think that they're going to really lean in on the run because of the potential of the weather. I don't think that they want to. I think they'll have a fear of messing it up.
And I don't think that that's a plan for success. Like I said, Lacey's great, but dude has not ran the ball well in SEC play.
No.
I think he had 20 yards rushing last week.
Yeah, against Georgia. Yeah, Georgia made it bad for
he
them.
Had 12 carries, 31 yards. He had 2 touchdowns. And Jay, did you also catch that our old buddy from Oklahoma State, Deshaun Stribling, is on Ole Miss?
Shut up. Stribling's over there? Nice.
Just
he had 3 catches, 96 yards.
Yeah. So, he's a big wide receiver, and he had a little success with us, 45 years ago when we played Oklahoma State. But I do believe that if they go towards a running game and they try to keep the ball in the middle, if it's wet, ball slips a little bit, whether it's out of the quarterback's hands, out of the wide receivers. He's only got 1 turnover, 1 interception so far this year. So is this do we double that, triple that? Is there an opportunity to do that? I think I want to see some more, if it's going to be wet, the ball is going to be slippery.
Yeah,
do we go for a little bit more punch outs?
I think they're going to be careful. Punch outs is going to be critical. I think they're going to be patient. They're gonna play. They may go, and somebody mentioned this in the comments. I can totally see them going with a similar playbook as what Sark did, but I think the big problem for them there is going to be we may let our corners play a little bit island ball because of the weather. Now, we may have a safety over the top watching for somebody to slip and try to get there to stop that. We may double. We may have it go too high and just let our linebackers tell them you need to play in space and be prepared for it.
Mm-hmm.
I could see that as well. I can see us really putting the pressure on their line too as we, blitz the heck out of them, or we're one of the best at getting just pressure. I was actually looking it up from what's that cam over there at PFSN. We are one of the top 5 teams in the country in getting pressure without blitzing, just standard pressure. Yeah, we're up there. So, yeah.
What do you think? What do you think the crowd's going to be like? If it's going to be rainy. I mean, obviously it's going to be early. I'm assuming that it's probably going to be like an effective temperature of probably like mid-50s.
Yeah.
Bring your poncho.
60, something like that. Bring your poncho. Be dressed warm underneath.
If you're wet, 60 feels like 50.
It really does. Like that additional, that temperature drops a lot more. Yeah, you be as warm as possible in that. And like I said, and like Coop mentioned, wear something that repels a lot of water. That way you are prepared to enjoy it. But I'm expecting the crowd to be good and rock. I mean, this is a 11 o'clock game. This is what we're used to, man. We're initiated into this.
I love it.
This is our lifestyle.
Yeah. This is
where we came from. We left this on purpose. Like last year, we didn't play very many 11 o'clock games because being in the SEC, you don't have to. But 2 years ago, that's all we played was 11 o'clock games. Even the big games were 11 o'clock games. So, yeah, I expect the crowd to be prepared and loud. I know some of them are kind of like, this sucks. But I actually would rather play this game early rather than late if it's raining. And if it's supposed to rain all day Saturday, I would rather be not in the rain. Well, it's supposed to actually things stop around 8 o'clock at night. So that'd be nice if they just moved it to the night game. But I would rather go where the sun's quote unquote out and be at this game rather than, not. I wouldn't want to play this at night in the rain. Sideways rain. That would suck.
Well, I will say that if it was switched to a night game, listen, I mean, you're going to have the field is going to be that much worse. So hopefully early, it is not. Hopefully early, it's not, or Friday night, it's not. It's not too much.
Yeah, should be good though. I expect the crowd to be solid. We are roughly 5 minutes away from the actual reports to drop. So thank y'all for pulling up. Hit the like button if you're new to the channel. Subscribe, rate, review, give us 5. We'll pause on the football talk. Got to talk a little basketball. Thunder got their rings. Cool.
They did.
They did the banner raise. When I flew in today, I walked into the airport and it had the picture of welcome to Oklahoma City, the 2025 NBA champions. That will never get old, which is why I'm wearing my cream Thunder champion shirt.
I just may have to.
Yeah, go ahead and switch over. That's a great job.
Switch the
cool.
lid.
That's a great
switch the lid.
Switch
right
the lid while we're
talking
talking hoops, man. And the Thunder eked it out against the Rockets, as Kevin Durant got to see the banner raised. You saw Steven Adams as well as Uncle Jeff Green, former Thunder players, watching the ceremony. That was pretty good. And we've got the win in overtime against KD and them. How'd you feel about it?
I think it was poetic. I think it's poetic that SGA takes the ball in for the game-winning shot, baits Durant. Durant, I mean, he chomped down and fouls Durant out and hits the free throws. I also find it poetic that Durant missed a free throw, in regulation in order to allow it to get to overtime. I mean, hell, like I said, Jay, you got to be conditioned to be an athlete. And I've always wondered how hellish it is for week 1 in the NFL or game 1 in the NBA to play an entire game for the first time in 3 months. And but then to go to a double OT game against the Thunder, who are a tough team and a physical team. But yeah, I mean, you still did it without J-Dub. He's not going to be around for several more weeks. But yeah, it was Riddell. That's where I was going. Like the role players, like Chet came out after all that. Hey, should we trade Chet for Giannis and stuff like that at the end of the season? Chet comes out and balls out. It's weird though. He looks older than he did when he was a rookie.
I didn't realize that people actually aged. Coop, thought that was kind of weird. Pat Bev, I get you, man. I was wondering the same thing. Like, man, what is this? Facial hair? You grow facial hair? Wow, that's crazy. No, that was hilarious that they do that to say that. But no, and Sean, you're right. That's probably the biggest thing is
AJ Mitchell.
You get team ball, and the best part about that though, too, Coop, is Dub didn't play. Isaiah Joe didn't play.
Joe didn't play.
Right? You've got a long list of players that didn't even play in this game. And you still was able to eke it out, which is important. And again, Chet coming out there with his 28 and 7. I wish we would have got a double-double, but I'll take the 28. I'm happy with that. You still ain't got Dub playing yet. AJ Mitchell kind of showing us that he's worth being there.
There's a reason why you didn't mess around in free agency and try to go after anybody. A.J. Mitchell came back at the end of the season last year and really looked good, had some good minutes in the playoffs. I mean, he was coming back from injury that wasn't allow him to play. So, I mean, and all injuries like that, but it's not like he wasn't able to get out there and just shoot the ball and move around and go after it. And so I really think that A.J. Mitchell is a guy who is going to be able to continue to go up. I mean, when you have him, when you've got one of the three of Caruso, Wallace, and him coming off the bench again, you said Isaiah Joe, not even there. Like it's a good win, and this is probably the healthiest I expect Houston's going to be. They've got a lot of guys on their team who like to miss some time. How long does KD? You knew that he wanted to come in and get the win, and so not just because it was basketball, but because it was the Thunder, because of all the trash talking and whatnot, and so
come back. It
was great.
OKC want to get his smack in, which
great
I
game
appreciate.
one.
It was a great game. It's what you wanted, and the fact that we did it, like I said, without everybody playing, to me it was probably the best part. So okay.
The updates yet? And good.
Updates are here. I just did my refresh. I do see that we have our injury report. So I'm gonna go ahead and pop this up so that we can talk about this. But of course, let's make a couple of picks over here with our friends at Sleeper. Shout out to them again. Use our promo code UNFAIR. They're going to give you $20 just for signing up. Plus, they match your first deposit up to $100. All you got to do is use our code. And so I'm going to make a couple of picks in the Thursday night slate. Again, we're going to add in, I think I'm going to do more with Mason because I don't know much about him, just because I think it'd be funny to pick him. Keenan Allen on the less. Good thing is, because we've got NBA going on as well, you can actually jump in and do some of these picks live for the NBA game. So, like, we can come here and look at the Knicks. Let's see what we got here. Ooh, we've got Donovan Mitchell at 17.5 points. Go more. Pick less, you get better odds, of course. And so, pick more or less, 2 or more players. If you hit it, you can probably get up like $1,000. 1,000 times your bet. So, do that. Check it out. Go to sleeper.com. Use our promo code UNFAIR. Terms and conditions apply. See Sleeper's terms of use for details. And so thank y'all, of course, for pulling up. Hit the like button. New to the channel, subscribe, rate, review. Give us 5 stars. We got we do have a big list, Coop. We have a very daunting list that kind of, let's go ahead and pull this up. Let's break the news. Da, 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 da. Oklahoma's injury report that shows. Drum roll, please. There we go. You know what you're doing, Coop. All right. You've got Javonte Barnes, Gentry Williams, Derek Simmons, and Logan Howland are coming in as questionable to start. You have Keontez is doubtful, so I don't expect him to play in this game. And then Troy, Sexton, and Jake are all 3 listed as out. So, yeah. Very interesting.
On the questionable side, the only one I think that we probably listen. I would say that the most likely guy that we see is Gentry. Second most likely Simmons, Howland, and then Barnes is the fourth most likely. Simmons' concussion situation. We've kind of brought this up several times. Right? He's a history of concussions. You got to think. You go back to Grant Calcaterra. At some point, like, you take the decision away from a guy because you don't want scrambled egg brain like for the rest of his life. But this is. Listen. It's. I still look at the outs and with Sexton and Taylor. Like, I don't think we see Jake Taylor this year. I don't know if Troy Everett, I would say Troy Everett, maybe Missouri, maybe LSU starts getting back into that, maybe something beyond then, but don't think we see Taylor ever again. I'm okay. This is good. Doubtful. I know Keontez, he's got a couple different things he needs to kind of get in situation. So, yeah.
Yeah, it sounds like that's probably what we're going to get out of this is we're going to get some Baklenko time. I don't think Baklenko was terrible.
He did actually pretty well. Now, when he came in, they ran his direction a couple times. He did do well. He's obviously. I bet that when we see by Saturday, I bet it might be a situation with Derek Simmons that it is he is available, but they'll try to probably not play him. If I had to guess,
you know what I'm happy with? Howland is now down to questionable. If he moves into probable, that makes me happy. That's a good thing. No, Lewis is not going to get. If Lewis isn't playing, it's not going to be ET. You already saw who Lewis' replacement was. Giovanni Gibson. That's the replacement for Keontez was playing because Giovanni wasn't playing. Now, if you go 3 wide, it's Satania, Burks, Giovanni. If you go 4 wide, I've been seeing Jermichael Carter play, which I thought that was very interesting. He's been playing a lot more lately. I think he got a decent amount of snaps in the last game. I think, let me see. Jermichael Carter, he's played in 7 games so far. He's played in every game this year.
Yeah.
At some point, he's played snaps.
Here's the thing. If you want to see Elijah Thomas, if you want to see some more of these other guys, let's put up some points early. Let's put some doubt. Let's make them get into a mentality that they just need to get the ball game over. I think that if you get a 2-score lead, maybe a 2-touchdown lead type of a situation, it's going to be raining. You're on the road.
Yep.
You get to come home next week. Who got next week? Let's see.
Next week we go to Tennessee.
No, Ole Miss. They get South Carolina next week.
South Carolina. Yeah, they got South Carolina the following week.
Maybe
which I think is after a bye too, isn't it?
No, No, I'm looking at. That's Saturday, November 1st. Yeah, no.
Yeah, so it is. So no,
They
they
get
got it's back-to-back weeks. They don't have a bye before that. I think they have a bye before the
same week as us.
I think actually I think their bye is
same week as us.
Yep.
No,
yep,
they got
yep.
Citadel. It's still after Citadel. We're good at this. This is good podcasting right here.
Before Florida. Right. Great podcasting. Yeah. So Sean, to your point, that's gonna be because I don't think we're gonna see Zion Kearney anymore this year. I think they're gonna redshirt him.
After Florida. Their bye is before their last game of the season.
Genius.
But South Carolina, Florida bye at Mississippi State. You get
so they got a bye before the Egg Bowl.
The point remains. You get to a spot where you're just like they just want to get out of town. You could put that doubt in their mind very, very quickly. Get up there with few doubts in the mind if you're up 2 touchdowns and that defense just continues to come after you.
Yeah.
Human nature take over.
Right. So, but I do like seeing that Logan Howland's dropped, and I'm really curious to see if it's Buklenko or if Howland ends up coming back and playing. I don't know. Not sure. Great question in here, though. What is it with Kendall Dolby? So it appears, as BV said in the presser, like I've been traveling, so I haven't got a chance to make any videos on any of the comments that's been going on, but appears that he's just trying to figure things out. He had been dealing with some additional injuries this season. So because of that, he's probably trying to figure out what's next. Is he gonna play? Is he gonna go ahead and redshirt because he, recovered from the original injury and trying to get back to full speed? I don't know. Haven't heard anything truly definitive, and he hasn't really said much. I'm actually curious on that myself. Cool.
I have not reached out to Kendall about this because I didn't feel it appropriate or at the time. And I know that there have been content medium wars going on all week long.
There has.
Between radio and Jim Traber and Matt Blackwell, captain.
They're all battling it out, huh? All right.
It was. There was a lot around there, but I do think this is. Dolby's not. He's not back 100%. He's been playing, and that ankle is a situation where that was a pretty bad injury. But you're also starting to get to a point to where you've got Kendall Daniels, Reggie Powers. Those guys have been playing the cheetah role and very well. They try to slide them outside to corner to add some depth. But you got Cortland, you got Gentry, you got Eli back. Devon Jordan's been playing really, really well. And so it's almost like he is a man without a position currently. And so coming back from an injury, man without a position, like that'll mess with you. And
fair.
I do think that you go from being kind of the heart and soul of the defense and being a guy that everybody rallies around to not being able to be on the field. You saw it with Jaden Gibson, a guy who just the struggles with the injuries, not being part of the team, being in the training room all the time, not being able to go to battle with the brothers. Like that takes a toll on you. And so Dolby is trying to figure some stuff out. And as soon as he does, I'm pretty sure we will find out. There's a chance he's back soon. There's a chance we don't see him again. We'll figure it out, I guess, all together.
Yeah, I'm hoping that things work out for our guy. Little Katie, I guess you could call him in comparison to big Kendall Daniels. I'll say that I feel like Kendall Daniels was really wasted at Oklahoma State. Is that bad?
He was very wasted. He was.
It feels like he was wasted because, good Lord, he has been balling.
If he would have came here last year,
best. Oh God.
Oh yeah.
Oh, if we had him last year. And
listen, you still had Samuel Siegel. we will see what happens. I mean, like we've kind of brought up a few times here, with the remaining schedule that we have, you got some of the bigger rushing defenses, some of the better rushing defenses coming up. Between Tennessee runs the ball pretty well. Bama's going to try to run the ball well. LSU not so much. Missouri. Yeah. So we're gonna get some thumping. We got some good offenses coming up. I think that Ole Miss's offense, Tennessee's offense, Bama's offense, Missouri. I mean, the next 4 games are the better offenses. I wonder what happens towards the end of the season with LSU, because our boy Nussmeier, getting to that finish line might be tough.
It's going to be a challenge. I'm curious to see if these teams are quote unquote as good as was thrusted upon us. Again, I mean, this Ole Miss game may be interesting. It may not even be as high of a scoring game or as many yards as we anticipated before, because the defense is actually chicken is so rude. That's just rude. I'm not going to read that out loud. I'm not going to read it. If you're listening to the audio version of this, you can go to the YouTube and see what Chicken said in the comment section. It's actually pretty funny. I digress. We I ain't maybe lose my train of thought. Gotta love it when you podcast live and people pop off some good jokes.
It's always go with chicken. Chicken's one of the better ones. Do you want to take a circle around some of the games coming up this week, or you want?
Yeah, let's talk about some of the SEC games. Let me pull that up. Thank y'all for pulling on up. Hit the like button if you're new to the channel. Subscribe, rate, review. Give us 5 stars. Let me pull up the SEC schedule real quick of what the games we get to witness, because it's going to be a fun one. That's what I was talking about, our schedule not being as tough as we initially thought it was going to be, because it's not.
Jay, we said it. Didn't we say it? We said it also the way it lays out. Now, listen, I think that this week and next week, they're big. I think this week and next week are really, really big.
I agree. I think this week and next are critical. If we go to Tennessee and we slow them down, I don't think we stop Heupel's offense, but I think we can slow them down, especially the way that Joey Aguilar plays with a lot more confidence compared to the way Nico played. That, even though I do think BV may have Heupel's number, right? Like, I think Sark has BV's number in the fact that BV just ain't had. It's more so PK has whoever our offensive coordinator's number is. He just lucks out every single year in situations. Just bad luck on that part. But I think that defensively we do have Heupel's, because last year, Nico was new and young and figuring things out, but we terrorized them. They weren't able to run like they wanted to. This year,
they shut down their offense. They shut down their offense.
Right. Deshaun Bishop is good.
Mm-hmm.
Really good. Like, I like Deshaun Bishop. And they play Kentucky, which is fascinating. They're a 7.5-point favorite. And Kentucky somehow defensively have been giving everybody hell.
Yeah. And we pointed this out at the beginning of the season. Like, Kentucky is a ball game that you have to be on your game the entire game. Kentucky just, they lost this past week to Texas, but I don't think Texas fans feel too good about that game last week.
What was it? Parker, Mr. Stats of War, Parker Fleming. Yeah, let me pop this up here real quick, dog. He had his did we really lose that bad? And he had this for that game, Coop. Boy, when I looked at that, I'm like, you lying. I thought he was lying. Look at that. Look at the second team from the left.
Yeah.
Like, really? Did we really get beat that bad? And Kentucky should have won that game. And I blame Kentucky for them just being dumb and not kicking a field goal when you probably should have. But that 100% is why I think Kentucky is going to be a problem for whomever they play against. So But this
So
weekend's
Tennessee
going to be
gets to
some
deal
fun
with them.
games.
Tennessee gets to deal with them.
Yep.
And you got to go to there. So, I mean, that's going to be...
Going to Lexington? Ew, feels stinky. You got
How
that
fun
one.
is
Auburn, Arkansas is the one that really gets my attention, dog. I am intrigued by that game.
Arkansas has shown that they can put up some points against pretty much whoever they play. They've also shown that they can completely be no-shows.
Yeah.
Does Jackson Arnold decide to throw the ball in this game?
The fact that Arkansas is a 2.5-point favorite at home is very telling about the state of Auburn football right now. Because Arkansas is the best offense in the conference. Period. Hands down. The numbers bear. They are the best offense in the conference. They just can't stop anybody.
No.
But what helps them is, who are they going against? Jackson Arnold.
Oh, I made a comment. I think Frodo in Lord of the Rings was more willing to part with the ring than Jackson is to throw the ball when it's in pressure situations. This might be the end. This is going to be the end of one or two of two names: Jackson Arnold, Hugh Freeze. We might see Deuce. And does Hugh Freeze have the cojones to pull Jackson if he's just not doing it? The thing is, Jackson won't throw the interception. And because he won't throw the interception, it just doesn't damn him immediately. But he'll take half a dozen sacks per game. Mm-hmm. If Arkansas goes out and they are scoring points and Auburn can't keep up scoring points because Jackson won't throw the ball,
that is the question. That is really the 100% million-dollar question. Will Jackson Arnold throw the ball?
Yeah, James, I think you got it. Jackson Arnold's going to be at Sam Houston State or Arkansas State or something like that next year because nobody's going to look at that production at Oklahoma and then him going under Hugh Freeze, who is seen as an offensive guru. If you can't do it in one of those two spots, nobody else is paying that kid.
Soon to be
maybe in North Texas, but I mean their quarterback, he's throwing the ball all over the place. So, yeah. What do you think about
next up?
Do we even need to talk about that one?
We got to talk about Alabama and South Carolina. Why? Because it's SEC, baby. You never know what's going to happen. We just saw Kentucky. Well, I mean, granted, a lot of people don't think Texas is all that good, but we just saw Kentucky give them hell. Alabama, if they don't blow out South Carolina,
what is that? 12.5 point.
Mm-hmm.
Here's the saving grace on this one. We read the stats earlier. Alabama doesn't sack the quarterback. They don't get tackles behind the line. And that's South Carolina's weakness. So does South Carolina feel like it's a little bit of an easier task this week? I mean, they're a few injuries away from holding student tryouts for offensive line. Again, I listen. You go to the house. What time is that game? It's 2:30. Mm-hmm. I'm pretty sure that it doesn't matter what time that game is. This is one of those games where Alabama. And under Nick Saban, it's no longer there. But this is one of those games where Alabama goes out and wins like 21-0, mm-hmm. and everybody goes, "What's wrong with Alabama?" They just go out and they're about business and they just get out.
You get take up out of there, right? And South Carolina's so beat up that I'm gonna be honest, they lose that game, which I expect them to. Beamer's heavily on the chopping block. He may not make it out of the season if they close this out bad. Just being honest. He was supposed to be on the hot seat last year and they had that run. They may renege all of that. And try to get into the sweepstakes because there's going to be a lot of coaches that people want, especially with all the big jobs. You want to take advantage of that. Now, I'm going to skip the two big ones. We'll do them last. I want to talk about this Texas-Mississippi State game. Texas is a 7.5-point favorite on the road.
Time out. You just skipped talking about the big games between Texas A&M, Missouri,
LSU.
Vanderbilt, and LSU to talk about the one that doesn't matter.
Exactly.
I'm just saying.
Because I think it matters. They're going to Stark Vegas. This is back-to-back road games, Coop.
Hey.
Look. The fighting Jeff Lebbies have been balling. Let's just keep it a buck. 3:30 in the afternoon, man. This could be a scary game. This is scary hours.
Hey, here's Mississippi State's going to be able to. Michael Taft is out. He just had thumb surgery yesterday or today.
They're going to go deep. You're going to see Evans and you're going to see Brennan Thompson go deep a lot.
Very much.
Let's not pretend that Mississippi State, their problem is going to be on defense, but, I mean, the way things have been going, they may get something. But, that one's going to be – I jumped those other two because this is a very interesting game. Now, I will be tuned in heavily. They lose, they in a lot of jeopardy. But that leaves those other two. First off, Vandy's once again a favorite.
Hey, timeout. I do want to stick to Texas.
Here you go. See,
if they lose,
look at you now. You want to talk about Texas?
No, because this is if they lose this game, next week they go. They invite Diego Pavia to the crib. So Vanderbilt goes to DK Royal. Then the next week they go to Georgia. They get Arkansas, who is going to score
a lot,
and then they get A&M. If they lose to Mississippi State, you are literally looking. What are they? 5-2 right now. You're literally looking at 5-3, 5-4, 5-5, 5-6, 6-6, or 5-7, pending Arkansas.
If they don't make a bowl game, I'm not even gonna be mad about our loss at that point. I just ignore it. It's an anomaly. I don't even care. They'll make a bowl game.
I still,
if this is year one, this is hilarious. If this is year one Sark, this is hilarious. Losing 6 straight games is hilarious.
It is. I think Mississippi State. I would pick Texas to win this game right now if I had to make the pick.
Yeah.
If Mississippi State, they have a lot of paths to victory. But this and Arkansas are the last 2 games they'll be favored in.
I think so. Yeah, they'll be dogs against A&M. They'll be dogs against Georgia. Easily. And they will be a dog against Vanderbilt.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that Vanderbilt game's going to be interesting. At home, too. I bet Vandy's a favorite in Austin.
11 a.m.
Especially if they win this game.
11 a.m. kick.
Especially if they win this game. Like, I don't think they have any for just this week. They may actually have the opening odds for that game. That, buddy. Whew.
All right, now we can leave the Texas Longhorns.
All right, let's go. Let's talk about the bigger games. I want to talk about this Vanderbilt Missouri game. What intrigues me about this game is I think that Vanderbilt could dominate it by a lot.
Jay, if I set the over-under on total passing yards at 405, what would you take?
Under.
Between both teams.
Under. Yep. I'm taking the under. We haven't really seen a lot of Bo throwing it. We've seen more Pavia, to me, throw it this year. Yeah, and they, on average, they're both 57 and 59 yards per game, and Vanderbilt's the number 57 in the country. Missouri is such a heavy run game, and their defense has actually been solid based upon who they played. Yeah, they're up there with us, right? Like, they're one of the better offenses up there with us this year, especially on rushing. Like, they're only giving up 79 yards per game on the ground, which is still bananas to me. That's pretty darn high. That Auburn win probably shouldn't have happened, but I digress. It's Auburn.
It's Jackson Arnold.
I'm really curious to see what Missouri looks like. They got 2 weeks in a row of Vandy and then A&M.
He said that Auburn, Vandy, A&M. Now A&M's defense ain't very good. Their offense is good.
Yeah,
but
which is crazy,
I'll say Auburn held Ahmad Hardy to 58 yards. That guy had been doing whatever he wanted. 2.4 yards a carry. Jeremiah Cobb ran for 111 on 19 carries, 5.8. Now he had a 41-yarder. But I fully expect – I'm very, very surprised Jackson Arnold didn't really run all over Missouri. So the goal is to stop Pavia. And if you can stop Pavia, things line up. But he's not supermaning these wins. Like, these are team wins. And it's at Vandy. I got Vandy in this game.
I think too. Like, it was initially looking like Missouri was going to just easily get to 10 wins. That 10 wins, I think they can stumble in the next 2 games with the East. I think they may stumble the next 2. I don't think that's going to make them a bad team. I think they stumble it. I just think Diego Pavia and them is just balling. I mean, the fact that they're already freaking bowl eligible now. Because Coop, they what was their win total? 5.5? You know, I took the over.
If we win this week, don't we beat the early win total?
Yes,
where we
6.5 is our number.
The 6.5 was the early one, right? So
yep, and it ballooned to 7.5. I got it at 6.5 and 7.5 when I was.
That's what I got it at.
So it is definitely 6.5 was the original, and which I still think is wild that they put it to 6.5. Next, you go to LSU versus Texas A&M, which LSU was 8.5. Does LSU win another game this year? Cool. You got A&M, Alabama back-to-back. Well, they should beat Arkansas and Western Kentucky. So, yes, they should get 2 more wins. That gets them to 7, and then Oklahoma. Do they win outside of Arkansas? Or do they win another SEC game?
Jay, can they beat Arkansas?
Well, that's a very good point.
Game? Where's that game
is at home. It's in Death Valley. It's at the crib. They've only lost on the road.
Hey, listen, their offense isn't very good. I don't think LSU could keep up with Arkansas.
I don't think so either.
If Arkansas gets off and Arkansas scores 35, they win the game. So they may win one more game. But they've been grinding these things out. I mean, they have not won sexy. They have not won sexy.
One sexy win, and that's against Southeast Louisiana, which does not count.
That does not count.
Arkansas
you know what, Jay?
has a terrible defense, but a really good offense.
I scored on my daughter's 10-year-old soccer scrimmage last night. The coach had me play. That's about the same situation.
I can totally see the comparison. It totally makes sense. I really am. Wow. But A&M, though, I need A&M to – I'll put it this way. I would not be surprised if A&M lost this game. Not saying they will, but I would not be surprised for 2 reasons. One, it is in Death Valley. It's SEC ball. It happens. And 2, A&M's defense is just bad enough. Because it's mid. Their defense is mid, right? 37th in yards, 46th in pass, 46th in rush, 62nd in scoring. So they give up points. They give up yards. I could totally see LSU's defense somehow doing enough. Because their defense is the exact same spot. And they eke this out with like a game-winning field goal.
This reminds me of what like the Florida game was. But, I mean, Vegas is showing you that over-under at 48.5. I mean, if I say this, if LSU wins, their defense caused all kinds of havoc. And if LSU wins, I would put that at probably like a 27-23 type of a win.
I can see it. That sounds about the score they should be. They both are averaging about 25 points per game, and then Texas A&M's giving up 23. Actually, A&M scoring 36 points per game. They're giving up 23. LSU scoring 25 points per game and giving up 14. So I can see it even itself back out at around the 24 range, 24, 21, something like that. Over under on that game is set at 48.5. So yeah, 24, 25, 25, 24, something like that. Checks out.
27-23. Book it.
Yeah. There you go. 27-23. That puts you right at the over.
That's 50.
That's right. That's slightly over. I wouldn't take the over in that game, though. What about Missouri and Vanderbilt? I'd take the over on that 51.5. Even though I think Missouri's defense is legitimate.
I see this kind of being maybe like a 31-20 type of a win for Vandy.
You think you get that high up? Fascinating.
I think Pavia throws for a touchdown. He runs for a touchdown. I mean, that's 14. You just need 2 more touchdowns, and
which I think he throws for 2, and I think he may run for 1 or 2 in that game. So, I think this could be the Pavia. It's at the crib, so I can see it being another Pavia game similar to the LSU game last week.
Yeah,
that's what it kind of feels like.
Oh, I didn't see. Shout out Jason. What's up, Hall of Fame?
What up, Jason?
I didn't even look at the chat.
I know. I've been sitting here pulling up these games, looking at this because I'm trying to look at the stats for these teams and understanding what makes sense. And it's like this is the week to me where we're gonna see whose teams are legitimate, whose defenses are legitimate, and all of that. This feels like the actual week.
Jay, there's always a week though where nothing makes sense.
Oh, I agree.
Does that happen this week? I'd prefer that week to happen when we're on a bye in 2 weeks.
Really?
Let's do that. I don't even know what games they're in.
The 11th week? Yeah, the
11th.
9th? Yeah. That week. That's
a
week.
That's a bad week.
You got two good matchups. The LSU Alabama game's always good, regardless of who's good and who's bad. And then Texas A&M Missouri is going to be a fascinating one. So I can see that. Us, when we play in Tennessee, that's a big week. Vandy's traveling. Us, we're traveling to Tennessee. South Carolina
That's a bad
Miss.
slate of games. There's 2 good games.
Georgia, Florida at the world's largest outdoor cocktail party. So that's the neutral site game. You never know what Florida shows up. It's a rivalry, so you got to be legitimate.
Do they still
Our Bama game also... That's the Georgia-Texas game, so things are still a little
True, James.
Stinky. We should be at night for that game, though.
Which one is that?
Against Bama. That should be a night game.
I mean, if neither of us lose until then, yeah, you can write that in.
It's definitely going to be a night game. And then, of course, the Missouri game is another big one. Tennessee, Florida on the road. Yeah. And then everybody's playing all their cupcakes. And then the final game of the season, of course, rivalry week is when you get all kinds of good stuff. Friday, Saturday.
Oh, that's so beautiful. Look at that list.
I'm actually disappointed that the Egg Bowl's on Friday. Move that bad boy back to Saturday.
Look at everything else that's on Saturday. Well, that's
give me Thursday night ball.
Thanksgiving though. That's Thanksgiving.
Yeah, they used to do the Egg Bowl on Thursdays. They used to do it Thanksgiving night. I'm actually disappointed they went away from it, but whatever. But no, I think I'm actually kind of intrigued by what's this? This weekend's games. Yeah, I'm gonna be locked in on this Missouri Vandy game. Gosh, everybody's in the middle of the day though. That's the thing that only annoys me. Like everybody's in the middle. It's us, and by the time right when our game's about to end, you start seeing the South Carolina Bama game, Missouri Vandy, and Texas. All of them basically just plop out. Ugh,
yeah,
I don't know.
Now, I will actually not be able to watch this game live unless I get my terrible parents on. I'll be at Boy Scout camp.
Boy Scout camp.
Boy Scout camp. Cub Scout camp.
Being a parent.
Yep. So, I made a comment in our Discord, and they told me to fall asleep like the Auburn game last week.
Yeah, go take a nap. Take a nap
take a
so
nap.
that we can win it. That will be good. So
I'll have my phone. We'll just see how much I'm paying attention. Might have Toby Rowan in my ear the whole time.
good. Do that. At least listen to it. So, all right, we're out of here. Thank y'all for pulling up. Hit the like button. If you're new to the channel, subscribe. If you are listening on the audio, rate, review, give us 5 stars. Shout out to our partners over there at Sleeper. They're going to hook you up on the entry on the app playing daily fantasy ball. They're going to give you a match. First $100, 100%. They'll match, and they'll give you $20 just for signing up. Terms and conditions apply. See Sleeper's terms of use for details. And we'll be back Sunday. I'll have videos flowing this week. Since I'm back home, I can actually get back to it. And yeah, love y'all. We'll talk soon. Peace.